All right, grace and peace, everybody. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. All right, you've seen this conversation going on. A couple, they hired this young lady in the blue dress. Her name is McKenna, to be the surrogate for their baby. 20 weeks into their pregnancy, the doctors discover that the little boy, he has a serious heart defect. And so what does the couple want to do? The couple wants to abort the baby. And of course, the surrogate, McKenna, she refuses. And that's already kind of like a crazy wackadoodle story. But then it's going to get so much wilder because we're going to listen to her interview with Megan Kelly, and they're going to discuss now that the baby has been born. It was born just actually, I think, last week. Somebody else is willing to adopt him. The doctors say that they can operate on him, and that there's a legal fight now that's going on where I think the couple is suing McKenna for having given birth to the baby. This is just an absolute, total dumpster fire. And I just want to hear what you all are thinking. What are your thoughts pertaining to it? So let's go ahead and jump in. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. So let's jump into it. Let's go.
I have not heard a story like this, I have to say. Did you know this couple when you agreed to become a surrogate for them?
No, we met through an agency, surrogacy agency.
Okay. And as I understand it, you did sign a document saying that if the parents wanted at some point to abort the pregnancy, they could. Is that right?
Yeah, going into this, we had talked about it when we first met. And I asked them kind of their views on termination. And it was a reassuring conversation that really they wanted a baby. They weren't exactly sure what decision they would make if something came up, but they ultimately just wanted to be parents. And so I felt confident moving forward with them that termination would not be their first choice.
Okay, so the contract said they had the right to do it, but you, based on your conversations, didn't foresee them actually doing it. And then the baby, was it a 20-week amniocentesis? Is that what happened?
There was no amniocentesis. It was an ultrasound that the cardiac defect was identified a couple days after 20 weeks.
So then they said they wanted to abort their child, but you are pro-life. And so what did that bring up for you?
It brought up a lot of fear. And I just didn't know what to do. I felt very trapped due to this contract and felt like I had no voice. But I knew in my soul and my heart that I wanted to protect this little boy.
Okay. All right. I'm a little bit conflicted because if this is a part of the contract and you knew that there was a possibility, of course, you're probably hoping and praying for the best, so you don't expect that you ever have to worry about it. But this is a part of the contract. So why did you sign the contract if deleting the child is a part of the contract? And then also, I don't know, man, you were taking like baby bump pictures. You was out there taking like pregnancy photos. I got to hear a little bit more about this. What do y'all think, though? What do you think?
And thankfully, my brother was, it was put on his heart to call me and just speak hope and courage into me. And he and his wife even offered to adopt this baby if it meant me not having to go through this late-term abortion.
Wow. Right, because at this point, the baby's almost 5 months in utero, and this is, you start to feel the baby moving. It's like, this is a very special time for a mother.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine what it would be like to be told that you must abort the baby, like that you must.
Yeah.
So you didn't, which is extraordinary. And that must have taken a lot of prayers and courage on your part. And now it's devolved into a legal battle. So let me bring in Lincoln at this point, your lawyer. So Lincoln, was the legal battle, did the parents try to force the abortion? Has a court ruled on that? Because McKenna did not abort the baby. She is pregnant right now.
No, they didn't try to force an abortion in court. What really happened was that After McKenna had resisted and they'd put on essentially a pressure campaign to force her to abort, they even enlisted her own prior counsel to serve her with a demand of $250,000 with a process server in the middle of the night. And when they were unsuccessful in doing that, what they did was they pivoted to California and they filed a lawsuit in California, even though the contract requires any litigation in Alaska where McKenna lives. They said, we're filing suit in California and we want an expedited judgment of parentage. And our basic understanding is that what they want to do is if they're declared the parents, and unfortunately the California court did declare them to be the parents, then they can make the decision about medical care and they can decide when this baby's born that they won't give him any care and he'll be dead in a matter of days without it. McKenna is unequivocally willing to fight for his life, though.
For the first time since World War II, our national debt has exceeded in these cases where there's some sort of medical deformity, quote, defect, I'm using air quotes around those words, with an unborn child where, parents choose to abort their child. But this is a much trickier situation. And McKenna held the line. What do you make of it? Man, what do you say to the people out there who aren't that tuned into choice, life, all that issue, who say, well, the poor child wasn't going to have any life anyway, so the parents are doing something humane here?
Well, first of all, Megan, thank you for covering this. McKenna is a hero. Huge shout out to Lincoln for ADF's support of this incredibly important case and this baby. I mean, this is a life at stake. And the reality is, the hospital that does deal with cases like this little boy's heart condition can get up to an 80% success rate with a life-saving surgery that can give this boy decades of life, of a wonderful life ahead of him. Medical technology is amazing. We have ways to care for life, to help life. And medicine should never be used to destroy life. But because we have abortion on demand in America through all 9 months, we have this search and destroy mission, these search and destroy missions that happen, Megan, in healthcare, where they look for a defect, they look for any problem with the baby, a genetic condition like, trisomy 18, Down syndrome, and then they say, well, we should terminate. So we throw away life that is seen as inconvenient or not perfect, which is eugenics, by the way. Eugenics is trying to create the perfect race, the perfect genetic code, and this is what's happening here. He's not perfect, so we should let him die or otherwise destroy him. So I'm really proud of McKenna. I think this case is so important. And I think that the fact that surrogacy contracts are basically slavery contracts today, like I own your body now, I can do with it as I please, and the baby you're pregnant with is basically my property too, and I can kill that baby at will, is completely unethical, and we shouldn't be allowing this any longer.
Oh, as for this particular condition, our understanding is there have been cases of children who have lived with this condition. You have to have at least 3 operations when you're very young on your heart. But we found the case of Ben, who was treated at CHOP, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. This is from February of 2015. He's about 4 in this video. Let's watch.
We went for the routine ultrasound and
Shout out to Ben.
checked everything. They said, we see a heart defect. They said his condition was hypoplastic left heart syndrome. And it was really a very bleak picture that they painted for us. A part of me gave up hope that I would have a baby to bring home.
Benjamin's diagnosis is hypoplastic left heart syndrome. It's essentially a condition where the heart that normally has 2 pumping chambers, one to send blood to the lungs and one to send blood to the rest of the body, only has 1 chamber, which is the right side of the heart. Our main goal is to convert that pumping chamber so it really serves to pump blood to the entire body. So we're talking about a very complex surgery. You have 1 chance to do it right. And after that, hopefully you have 2 more operations to get this child to a healthy and productive childhood. I'd like to think that although I don't have my own children, I have hundreds of them. And Benjamin is one of them. It's amazing to see him as just a normal kid. You would never guess he has heart disease.
People will tell us, if we didn't know that he had a heart condition, we would never believe it. He's very active, very, very normal, and he's very bright, has a great sense of humor, and is just an amazing kid.
Now, let's be honest, though. This is a very That's a very tricky surgery. But I think it's fair to say that the men and women that perform it seem to be dialed in, that they can bring you some solid results. I mean, that's wild. And who are we to say that, well, okay, they're going to have a hard life, therefore we take their life. Because their life's not going to be perfect, we should take it. That is some wild work, man. For the life of me, I do not get that. I do not get how we're so flippant with that. It's like we know better. Hey, let me finish this up, though. Shout out to Megyn Kelly and her guests. Let's finish this up. Let's go.
Talked about cases like that with the birth parents or someone representing the birth parents, or not that, whatever, the biological parents?
Yes. After the diagnosis was made, I spent that weekend watching videos like that on YouTube. I personally know somebody, she'll be 16 in a couple of months with the same diagnosis, and it's not this hopeless diagnosis whatsoever. And that's part of why I want to fight so hard for this little guy is, yes, the beginning isn't going to be easy. There's surgeries, there's, it's complicated, but he absolutely can go on to live a full life, and he deserves that opportunity.
And have you spoken with them? Like, did they respond to you directly, or did you hear their justification?
Everything, once the diagnosis was made, started going through the agency liaison. So I have not spoken to them directly since April 17th or that weekend.
Thanks for watching this clip. If you're new here, subscribe. We got a
shout
whole
out
lot
to
more goodness.
McKenna. And apparently this is going to now go to a court case. So we'll probably hear about it. And I just wonder, like, at what point are we going to start saying, man, like, our love toward people has grown cold. The fact that a mom would look at the surrogate mom and say, you got to delete that baby is crazy work. And I mean, we're getting so cold to one another and to those who suffer and those who we should be protecting, those who we should be looking out for and such of that nature. I mean, this is going to have to be studied by science. So let me know what you think. Comment down below, all that kind of good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have to say. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And until next time, grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the JWhit Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.